All right, guys, welcome back for another one. You guys just witnessed the equipment shuffle. Every time I go to move a project in or out, I got to move 3 wheel horses out of the way, and just a pain in the butt. But we got this in here. So what this is my 5x8, and I think the brand is Carry On. I don't know, it's the same thing. You go to Rural King or Tractor Supply and pick up. And I actually bought this one used off a guy last summer. I don't know if you guys have checked the prices on trailers, but they blame it on COVID. Man, they blew up. This trailer now is like over $1,000 new, which is insane to me because you used to be able to buy a decent car trailer for that used. So I found this one. It sold pretty quick. I had to jump on it. I drove about 30, 45 minutes to get it. And actually, when I got it home, I'd done a lot of work to it. Knocked all the rust off of it, repainted it, put all new LED lights in it, redid all the wiring, which ain't saying much because there ain't much on this thing. Repainted it, painted the wheels, all that good stuff. And I tell you what, the amount of money I paid for this thing has just, it's been one of the best purchases I've made. Every wheel horse I brought home on this. Air compressor, all kinds of stuff I've hauled home with this trailer. So I think it's time to give it a little bit of love and see if we can't make it better than how it is now. Now, all the praising I do about this trailer, I've had no issues with it. Obviously when I had it apart, I packed all the bearings, checked the torque and stuff like that. Never had a flat tire, again, knock on wood. But when I bought this, it came with a spare. So one of the things I want to do this time around is I want to get a spare tire mount put on it. I saw at Harbor Freight, they sell like a universal bolt-on that would kind of serve its purpose, but what fun would that be? So I'm gonna figure out some kind of mount, probably have to fabricate a bracket or something to get this spare tire mounted. I don't know, I think it'd be handy to have, and honestly, I'm tired of it just sitting in the garage. It needs to be on here in case I ever do have a blowout. So that's going to be repair number 1 that we're gonna try to get done in this video. Now, job number 2 isn't so much as a repair, more of I think it would be fun to put a winch on this small little trailer to pull wheel horses up on it with project. So Harbor Freight had a sale going on this thing. We're going to see about trying to get this mounted. I've heard good things. It's got decent reviews. As well as getting the winch, I went ahead and bought a winch plate. I think this will work. I might not even have to use it. I'm gonna have to mock that winch up on the trailer and see what I can do. But whenever you do that, obviously you need to have power to push it. Now, this little trailer I've got is only a flat 4. It's not the bigger 7-pin. And honestly, what I pull this with, you guys would laugh. I pull it with my car because good fuel mileage, it is what it is. But my car doesn't have the ability to do the auxiliary wire that you would normally use to charge a battery on like a dump trailer or something like this. So the fix I'm thinking about doing is I'm gonna put a battery on this thing. Probably gonna end up using like a U1 or U1R, something that you'd find on a wheel horse, another lawnmower. And probably gonna, oh no, I think this might work. Gonna use this, put the battery inside of this. I kind of want it to be, if I want to take the winch off at a later date, I can. And I kind of want everything contained in this. So in order to do that, I picked up this battery maintainer. It's on board. It's trickle charger pretty much. So I'm thinking what I can do, we'll get this put inside with the box, put me a nice plug on this. So if I know the battery is getting low or I know I'm going to be using it the next day, I can just run an extension cord from the garage and plug the box in, and I know I'm good to go to use the winch. Now, I know most cases people with their car trailers that would be going to get projects they needed a winch for would probably need a lot more than just a lawnmower battery to push it. But literally the only thing I'm ever going to use this for is for loading one of these up. I've picked up a couple. I went by myself. Actually, about 6 months ago, I went and picked up a 520, which if you guys know anything about these, are one of the bigger size wheel horses. And I went by myself. It's a hydrostatic unit. I was in a hurry. The guy said I could come get it and I had to go now. So I hooked on the trailer, hauled ass over to go grab it, and I was by myself. And he had told me the tractor ran. I thought, well, no big deal. You know, I'll just drive it up on the trailer. Well, when I got there, the battery was dead. Didn't have a battery charger. Normally I go prepared, you know, so I can at least limp them on a trailer. Well, I didn't have that luxury. Started raining, and man, it about killed me pushing that tractor up on the trailer by myself. Which leads me back to what I was saying. I want to put a winch on this. I know it's going to be stupid, whatever. I mean, it's going to be utterly just pointless to do it, but I think it'll be fun, and I think it'd make a fun video. So, tired of talking. I know you guys are tired of listening to me talk. Let's see about getting some work done and see if we can get this stuff mocked up on here. Well, after much pondering and thinking, I think this is where it's going to go. I was going to put it on the other side. I was going to put it on the front. It just didn't look right. And then I got thinking, if I ever did have a blowout, do I really want to be standing on the roadside trying to get the spare tire off the carrier? So it's going to go over here. You know, that makes the most sense, in my opinion. I dug around the scrap bin, found some angle iron, some steel plate. So what I'm thinking, I'll trim that down to cut. I really wanted to put it over one of these support pillars, but if I did that, it's going to cover the marker light up, and again, just wouldn't look right. So I'm thinking this is going to get welded up top. You know, I could put it down low though, and that would give it, you know, 3 sides. Well, I guess it'd still only be 2 sides. Well, no, because I could tack the back in too. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll put it on the bottom. But anyway, just picture it's upside down. I'm gonna take this plate here, blow a couple holes in it, maybe weld some bolts. I want to capture at least 2 bolts, if not 3. That way it's secure on there, but I don't have to worry about it swinging back and forth. So that'll get, you know, whatever template I go with, will get welded to that. And then that's what the tire mount to. So yeah, enough talking. Let's get after it. Okay, so here's where I'm at. I know that it's roughly, what's that, 1.75 inches, 1 7/8, or is that 2? Look at it right. Just under 2 inches is how deep that rail is on the bottom. So if I know that, and I know the back spacing on the inside, I took a straight edge to it and measured. It is roughly, I'll find the damn hole here. It's about 2 3/4 as well. So you add that up, if my maths are right, I mean, that should roughly be 2 3/4 how long I want that angle iron to be to, you know, get the spacing right so the tire actually fits. So I mocked it up here on the trailer again. Sitting there flush, it's right at 4.5, give or take, which is about right, because like I said, I cheated on the measurements to give me a little bit extra. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Angle iron's gonna get cut to 4 3/4, and then we can start working on the mounting plate. All right, got that piece of angle in the bench vise here. Normally I'd use a bench grinder, but I've been itching to try out this plasma cutter a little bit more. I've only used it once. It seemed to work pretty good, so we're gonna try it out again, and I have no idea if I've got the settings on it right, but you know, it should work right. Get you guys set back up. Yeah, that's like the $120 one off Amazon. Runs on 110 or 220. So yeah, let's see what happens here. I think I might have blew the breaker there. Might turn the old amps down a little bit. All right, guys, round 2. Turn the amps down quite a bit. That might have just been too much. I'm running it on that on the 110 cord. I haven't had a chance to put another 220 in besides the one for my compressor. So let's try this again. Yeah, I'm not too sure that that's the result you try to get. Like I said, I don't know, either I'm using too much air pressure, trying to get to focus. Y'all can see how awful that is up close. So I don't know. If you guys can tell me if I'm doing something wrong there. I tried to read the instructions, but the translation between Chinese and English is not very good. So let's clean this up a little bit. Okay, moving on to the flange. Like I'd said in the first clip, I would like to capture at least 3 of these. To me, it'd just make more sense to do that. And like I said, I can weld 3 bolts or something. I'll figure something out on it. Easiest thing to do, instead of trying to use my worst enemy, a tape measure. I'm sure you've seen everybody do this. Let me get you a little template, something like that. Give you a rough idea. And another thing you can do, take a hammer and you can actually kind of tap around the edges of something. It'll give you a hard edge, give you some place to start with. So I'm just going to do something like that so I can kind of see my bowl shape for the wheel. Yeah, we're getting there now. All right, let's do a little montage and you guys can watch in super fast speed as I do this, because in reality it's going to take me a lot longer than it should. Thank you. All right, so what I ended up just drilling those 3 holes out. It's these bottom 2 and that top one. Until I get that plasma cutter figured out, I'm not gonna try to use it. These holes would have been all messed up and they would have been ugly anyway, uglier than it already is. So let me take this over to the bench grinder and see if we can't clean this up a little bit and make it somewhat more gooder. All right, got it somewhat cleaned up. Let's go and see about tacking this bracket on now so we can start mocking it up on the trailer to make sure it's what we want it to be. So, I'm trying to think, I'll probably just split the difference on this. There's no science to this, people. And like I've made very clear, I am not an expert by any means. So don't follow my advice, just watch me suck at what I do for entertainment. So yeah, let's get this tacked up on here. So I am using the Harbor Freight Special, the titanium flux core. It actually doesn't do too bad for what it is. I mean, coming from me, who's far from a welder, but I will say that I'm able to make things stick together with it. A little bit more wire, I think. Boy, I tell you, I've blown that breaker more times a day than I have since I moved in this place. And I don't understand why. It never used to do it with the welder. There we go. Yeah, I'd say that's tacked. All right, I got it clamped on there for now, just so we can see and make sure we like what it's going to be like. I think that'll be just fine. It's not too low, not too high. It's just right. All right, I'm gonna finish burning that together. All right, guys, it ain't perfect. It's not the most beautiful thing I've ever made. I mean, look at them fantastic welds. Oh, I tell you. Yeah, I was gonna try to hit all this with a wire wheel, and it dawned on me, hell, I got a sandblaster, I'll just throw it in there. So now the fun part is gonna be welding this to the bottom of that cross member on the trailer. I don't like welding above my head. I'm bad enough the way it is now when I'm just standing and doing it. So I'm gonna see if I can't figure out some way to get that trailer picked up or halfway flipped over so I'm not burning all the hair off my head. So I don't know, see what we can do with that. I mean, is it a good idea? Yeah, but is it well executed? No, not really. But it's definitely gonna be easier on me. So now at least I'll be able to kind of kneel in this area and then, you know, not have to look so far up. So yeah. All right, let's get this done. Well, that was as much fun as I thought it was gonna be. Oh boy, look at them beautiful welds. Yeah, I know it's not the best, but I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. And if it does, the tire was free. Let's just hope it bounces off the road into the shoulder instead of into oncoming traffic. So I'm gonna throw some black spray paint on this, get this covered up, then we'll get the wheel mounted and I'll bring you guys back for that. Alrighty, there's the finished product. Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking, I've been out here working on this for probably at least 2 hours. And I know I'm not the best fabricator in the world, the best welder, the best cutter. You know, plasma cutter wasn't working right, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I would have been better off to buy the $6 bracket from Harbor Freight. Oh well, this part's done. I am gonna call it a day for now. I'm gonna go in the house and get something to eat. But yeah, there's the finished product. I don't think it looks that bad. So tomorrow we can get started on putting a winch on there somewhere over there. Okay, I got this roughly laid out with kind of the setup that I'm gonna be running. I know it looks like a mess because it kind of is, but let me just walk you through it. Got an ammo box here, Harbor Freight Special. Got my battery in there. And what I'm gonna do, I haven't quite decided how I wanna do it yet, but I want, instead of mounting this box and leaving it on the trailer all the time for someone to, you know, snatch, what I wanna do is make it to where I can just throw this in the trunk of the car or whatever, take it with me when I know I'm gonna be needing to use that, pull it out. I'm probably gonna put a quick connector, something. I wanna have some connections here on the outside of the box, so all I have to do is plug in my leads and, you know, plug the pigtail in off of this. And when I'm done using it, you know, close the box back up, throw it back in the car. And that way, if I ever need to charge that battery, I can just bring it in the garage with me, charge it, keep it on the shelf, do whatever. The other thing I want to do by doing that, isolating a couple connections, I can make me some jumper cables. And that way, if I go to get one and, you know, the battery's dead and, you know, that's the only thing wrong with it, you know, I can grab my other set of leads out of the trunk, plug it in, and I've got a little jump pack box here, you know. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'll show you guys how the winch is actually going to get mounted. All right, guys. Got it somewhat mic'd up on here. Got the winch sitting on the winch plate. I think this is going to work. I'm going to drill some holes in the cross members there, get that bolted down. I think that's going to be just fine though. I really do think that that's probably, honestly, the strongest part of the trailer. I mean, you got the tongue coming through there, the angle iron for the rest of the chassis. I think that's going to be fine. So let's get some holes drilled, get that bolted down, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys, that took entirely way too long. And look at this, burnt the skin right off my thumb. Oh yeah, I wonder what did that. Anyway, I got this, go box somewhat wired up. It's not perfect, but I think it's gonna do. So I got my battery in here, got my trickle charger. This is a controller for the winch. It's got your positive and negative leads coming out, and it's got the feed going to your battery. So just got those looped up and around, put on my battery post, and drilled a little hole in there to get the kickouts going to the winch. So what I want to do, and this is just temporary, I'm waiting on more stuff to come in from Amazon. I want to put some leads on the winch themselves, and you'll see over here. I don't want to have to come in here with a wrench every time I want to use the winch and, put battery wires on, crimp it down, tighten it down, whatever. I want to put some leads on here with a quick connect. You'll see when it comes in, it'll make sense. But that way, the winch itself has got a pigtail ready to go. It just needs to get plugged into something. So that'll have a female or male end, whatever, connector with some leads. And then on my go box over here, instead of just having these terminals, it'll have the other side of that quick connect, the pigtail. So whenever I'm ready to use this, I just throw it on the trailer, whatever, somewhere out of the way, plug this into the winch, I'm ready to rock. So yeah, I want to show you guys what I got done so far. I don't think it's too bad. I've got to figure out how to get this working. I don't know, I'm gonna get this all set up, get it wired in, and then we'll see about actually using this winch on something fun to, make sure everything works. So yeah, that's what we got. All right, guys, let's try out this remote control, should we? All right, guys, outro time. You know the drill by now. So, winch works good. I managed to use it on a new project you see sitting behind me here. This is going to be in a later video. I think this is going to be a good one. Should have a lot of fun with that. But yeah, I think the winch turned out pretty good. I mean, all things considered, I had my Go box ready. Got it hooked up. That wireless remote's really handy. This thing, again, we'll go over in another video. It was convenient because the steering links on this thing are not right. So it's pigeon-toed. So using that wireless remote, you know, you're able to kind of help steer it while you're winching instead of just standing back with the remote or the controller up by the winch, you know, and trying to do it. So the tire didn't fall off, my spare tire mount. It stayed on the trailer. It didn't go flopping down the highway, so that's good. Winch worked good. Yeah, I don't know. I think all in all, it's a pretty good video. I'm trying to cut back on the talking. It seems like I like to talk more than I like to show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm trying to edit that down a little bit because I know it can get boring and, you know, you guys get tired of hearing me ramble. So, but yeah, guys, if you like the video, thumbs up. I'm getting a couple subscribers. The views are getting there. And I don't know, I mean, worst case, I'm having fun doing this. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it. And if you are, I'll keep putting some videos up. So I'm getting better with the editing. That first video was rough. The second one I thought was okay. So hopefully this one, when I'm done with it, it'll be even better than the first two. So yeah, thanks for following along, guys. And stay tuned for this one. This ought to be a good one.